Hey everybody, it is Gordon Majak here, back with another episode of Timeless Pop, Rock, and Soul, and back with volume 2 of my little three-part thing here that started yesterday. Now, you may remember in the Denny Hines video there from last night for that great cover of Ain't No Sunshine, I mentioned to you folks that I had originally planned to go in a completely different direction here with the videos yesterday, but then at the very last possible second, I got so inspired when I sort of stumbled across this song that I had in my queue on my playlist, but that I was not intending to get to anytime soon. And I sort of stumbled across it and hit it by accident. When I heard it, I just knew, oh my God, I have got to play this for you guys sooner than later. So I jumped on it there last night. And of course, that made me realize that I need to play all three of these songs, Denny Hines, this one right now, and the next one. All three of these songs in this little set of videos are songs that I first learned of back in the year 2000 when I went to Sydney, Australia. Well, I actually went to Melbourne as well, but I flew into Sydney, Australia on a business trip, and I spent about a week down there with the wonderful folks at our office, at our music offices down there in Australia, back when I was working for AEI. And my lovely and uber talented host, the great Kathy Lee from Australia, turned me on to some really cool music while I was there. Now, this was in the year 2000 that I first heard these artists and these songs, Denny Hines and the artist that we're going to hear two songs from today, Kate Ceberano. I first heard this music in the year 2000, but this music actually had come out years before that. Denny Hines from Yesterday came out in 1992, as did this song that we're going to hear right now from Kate Ceberano. And then the next song that we're going to hear from Kate Ceberano in the next video came out a few years after that. So I found out about these songs way after the fact, after they had been big hit songs down there in Australia. And of course, we'd never heard them here in the States in the first place. So let's get, I'm just going to do a super quick one here. Kate Ceberano's got such an unbelievable background that I could spend a whole episode talking about all of her accomplishments, but I'm just going to try to give you a super quick background on her and on the source of this song, and then we're just going to get to the music here, and I'll see if I can keep this as short as possible, short and sweet, just like Denny Hines last night, because I really want the focus to be on the music, and you guys have got to hear this woman, Kate Ceberano, sing. She is just an unbelievable vocalist, and that's what grabbed me when I was down there in Sydney and first heard of her, as I said, back in the year 2000. So here is what we are going to hear. Here's a more recent picture of Kate Ceberano, not from the year 2000. She's quite a lovely lass and extremely talented, an actress and a singer. She's done so many things. Her career accomplishments are just ridiculous. She is just an absolute queen down there in Australia, and it's such a shame that we have not known much more about her here in the United States. But here's a little bit of background about Kate Ceberano, and then we're going to jump into this song. Now, Kate Ceberano was basically a star right out of the gate back there in the mid-1980s when she was only 19 years old, and she had a little funk pop band called I'm Talking that made quite a splash on the Australian music scene, as I said there, when she was still a teenager. That was 1985. By 1987, she was releasing her first jazz album, which was a big hit. By 1988, she was releasing her first pop album. And on her way to winning multiple ARIAs, the prestigious National Australian Music Award there. She's won multiple ARIAs, even just in her early 20s, for the Best Female Performer, Australia's Best Female Vocalist, several of those. We work our way up to 1992, as I said, and that is where this song comes from. And here's what happened in 1992. As I said, Kate Ceberano, quite a talented vocalist, obviously, as you will hear, but also an actress across several mediums, film, TV work. She's done a lot of different creative and artistic work besides her singing and her music. In 1992, Jesus Christ Superstar, the famous musical, the Australian production of Jesus Christ Superstar, was casting and touring there around Australia. And Kate Ceberano auditioned for the role of Mary Magdalene, and she got the part. And we are going to hear this song from the soundtrack of the Jesus Christ Superstar Australian show. We are going to hear her cover of the classic song from the show, of course, I Don't Know How to Love Him. Now, Kate Ceberano, let's see, she would have been in mid-20s by the time she did this show, the 1992 Australian production of Jesus Christ Superstar. The soundtrack album was the #1 album in all of Australia in 1992, just an epic recording, and that was a 4 times platinum album, so quite the splash there for Kate Ceberano, and this is her featured song from the show, as I said. Now, Kate Ceberano, as I mentioned, still going strong. This is first of all, this song's from 1992. I didn't even hear it till 2000. 22 years later now in 2022, Kate Ceberano still going strong, just released another big album here just a few months ago. She had another huge hit jazz album just a few years ago. Still going strong, still being super creative, and everything she touches musically just seems to be magic. She's in the Australian Songwriters Hall of Fame. I think she may have been the first female in the Australian Songwriters Hall of Fame several years ago. Just a masterful artist, and when you hear her sing, you will not believe that you don't already know about her. You will ask yourself, how is she not a household name here in the United States and around the world, and not just basically the Queen of Australia musically? You'll see, but she is the most popular, the most enduring, and I would argue the most talented, such a charismatic performer and such an incredible vocalist, as you will hear right now. Let's get straight to the music. I want you guys to hear this voice. This is the song, as I said, there's 2 songs by Kate Ceberano that I want to play for you. We'll get to the other one in the next video. But this was the first one that I heard that, even though I'm, the musical Jesus Christ Superstar and the song I Don't Know How to Love Him, all of that, I wouldn't even have thought that I would have cared about any of that. I remembered the musical, and of course I remembered the song from my youth, from years ago when it first came out. But it's not like I ever had any sort of, care or affection or paid any attention to that. But having heard it performed by her, and musically, it's a little bit, I would guess, kind of a Lisa Stansfield vibe, kind of a nice soul pop vibe, which suits Kate Ceberano just fine. Thank you. That's a cross-section of styles there that she's extremely comfortable with, as you will hear. So a nice little Lisa Stansfield sort of pop soul vibe there on the instrumental track, but Kate Ceberano on the vocals. Man, such a charismatic vocalist, and I just want you guys to check this out. And when you hear the next one that I'm going to play for you in the next video, and how she changes gears and just goes rock and funk, you will not believe it's the same singer. But she's that good, and it's just a damn shame that she's not huge here in the States as well. From 1992 and the Australian production of Jesus Christ Superstar, featuring Kate Ceberano as Mary Magdalene. This is her featured song from the show. This is I Don't Know How to Love Him.
Try not to get worried, try not to turn on to problems that upset you. Don't you know everything's alright? Yes, everything's fine.
And I think I shall sleep well tonight. Let the world turn without me tonight.
Close your eyes and forget all about us tonight. I don't know how to love him, what to do, how to move him. I've been changed. Yeah.
You hear what I mean, folks? Oh my goodness. They set her up with this nice little pop soul groove, and man, oh man, Kate Ceberano does the rest with that vocal. When she climbs that little mountain there in those choruses, holy cow. Chills 22 years later since I first heard this. Chills every dang time. And that was part of the reason why I knew I had to get to this and turn you guys on to this sooner than later. There it is, 1992, straight out of Australia. The great, and I mean the great. She is the queen. Kate Ceberano, Australia's own and Australia's finest, if you ask me. I don't know how to love him. From the Jesus Christ Superstar traveling production there in 1992 around Australia, she had the role of Mary Magdalene. There's her feature song, and oh my goodness, probably a pretty good chunk of the reason why that album ended up being, I should say, such a huge hit back there in Australia. The biggest album of the year in 1992. And as I said at the beginning, you just add that one of many, many accomplishments in the long and colorful career of the great Kate Ceberano. She is still going strong, folks. Her latest jazz album there, as I said a couple years ago, and even her more current project, a covers album with a couple new songs as well, post-COVID. Still going strong, still one of the great voices that you will ever hear. That is Kate Ceberano, and wait till you hear her rock it out and funk it out on the next one. Like I said, you're going to wonder, why do I not know who she is? Great question, but you will soon enough. Hope you enjoyed that one. Never even thought about that song, never gave the show a second thought. Heard that song when I was down there in Sydney with Kathy Lee, my good pal Kathy Lee, in the year 2000, and I went, what was that? And I had to bring it home with me. I liked it so much. Hope you dug it too. Wait till you hear the next one, man. This girl is funky. Kate Ceberano. All these years later, fantastic. And boop.